Here we go, guys. I have Notre Dame beating the Kentucky Wildcats.
What's going on, guys? It's Coin Toss Sports. Follow us on Twitter at Coin Toss Sports. I am *7770, known in the real world as Cam. He is at Razzleberry, known in the real world as an idiot, and his name is also Jared. Today we're going to talk about the Final Four: Duke, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Michigan State, and not Notre Dame. No, you got it wrong, and I will make fun of you for the rest of the tournament for it.
I was close. Give me that, okay?
You were close, but there was nothing that you said. You were confident they were going to win, and they did not win. End of argument. Let's talk about the Final Four. We're going to go through each matchup, predict winners, predict who's the title winner. We'll start with the big one, the first one, Wisconsin and Kentucky. Does Wisconsin have what it takes to beat Kentucky?
I think on paper they do, but I think Kentucky's still going to pull out the win. And honestly, Notre Dame couldn't beat them, so Kentucky's my favorite to win it all, really, now. But I think Wisconsin matches up inside the paint with Kentucky a lot better than most any other team. But I don't think they can stop Kentucky overall, whether it's on defense or offense.
I would disagree with you on that. I think what Notre Dame proved is if you are going to beat Kentucky, you beat them by the 3. They actually did not get destroyed by Kentucky in the paint like you thought. You've still got to be effective in the paint, but you beat Kentucky by the 3. And Wisconsin can shoot the 3, especially with Sam Dekker, who has been Mr. Red Hot of the tournament. Dude has been on fire. And, of course, Frank the Tank Kaminsky, who can shoot outside. My issue is, can Kaminsky and can their bigs handle Kentucky's bigs, who are so good at defending off the ball, outside the paint. If they can do that, I not only think Wisconsin has a shot to win. If they can do that, I like Wisconsin to win in this matchup. I actually do. I think Wisconsin can give Kentucky the biggest run for their money they've seen. There's a reason they're a number 1 seed. Notre Dame was very good, a very good 3 seed, but this is the big time now. This is 1 versus 1, and I think the pressure might get a little bit to Kentucky. They're very good at handling that pressure, but I like Wisconsin. Moving to the other matchup, the Cinderella of this tournament that you've been predicting that I didn't predict. But Michigan State is here again as lower than the 5th seed, again, under Coach Tom Izzo, again. Dude, can they beat Duke? Can they beat the Blue Devils?
No. This Michigan State team has been one of the better storylines this whole time throughout the tournament. Duke is still probably the 2nd best team in the nation behind Kentucky.
Duke is without a doubt 2nd best team. I think Duke can give Kentucky the biggest run for their money because they are playing defense in the tournament now. Justice Winslow has been defensively a man among boys. And this team has done well with Julio Okafor, not per se being Julio Okafor. He hasn't done all that well in the tournament, and Quinn Cook hasn't hit his shots. If they can do those 2 things, this might be the title favorite.
I think Michigan State, their only chance of beating Duke is to continue playing the shutdown defense that they've been playing.
They've got to play very good defense, and Travis Trice has to go off. But Quinn Cook can play very good off the ball. Duke is very good against point guard dominant teams. That's why you like them against Michigan State. So our final is, for you, Kentucky Duke. For me, Wisconsin Duke. You got one in.
Kentucky. I mean, I wish it was Notre Dame Duke. That's who I had in my final, and then I had Duke winning. But I just think Kentucky is... I mean, they came off this huge win versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame really gave them a run for their money.
Without a doubt.
And I think Kentucky will just... If they get to the final, I don't see any way you can stop Kentucky from winning that final game to go completely undefeated throughout the entire season. It's a crazy train going off the rails right now.
That would definitely be history. But in the famous words of Bill Plaschke from the year 3047, Quinn Cook will hit a shot over either Kentucky or Wisconsin. I'm not necessarily quoting Plaschke on that, but I think Duke, this is the year for Duke. I think everybody's talking about Kentucky. They are 38-0, undefeated. How about what Duke's done? They are in their 12th Final Four, Coach K. He got his 1,000th win this year. He's done it like no other team because this is a team that's currently playing 3 freshmen, and their 3 biggest impact players are all freshmen. And I think there is no better year for Krzyzewski to win that 5th title. This is a Duke team that's lost in the first round to Mercer and to Lehigh the past 2 years. They are shooting for revenge, and they are going to be hungry against this Kentucky team because they do not want to be the team that loses to Kentucky. And if it's Wisconsin, they will take on Wisconsin just as much. In my opinion, the Duke Blue Devils will win the title. You can quote me on that.
We'll see. Maybe I can have my own I am stupid sign.
You can quote me. You can quote me on that. Mark my words, Duke will win the title. Moving on, the NBA. We are near the playoffs, and of course, this is the time MVP conversation gets to its highest. Let's talk about who you got for NBA MVP.
Steph Curry. I think it's actually a 2-man race between Steph Curry and James Harden, but I see Steph Curry winning. He's been lights out this year. James Harden has the benefit of playing with pretty much nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwight Howard's been injured pretty much most of the season. Steph Curry has only missed 6 games. He has Klay Thompson around him. He has a much better team, a better coach.
Steve Kerr, locker coach.
Steve Kerr, yeah. Steve Kerr's an amazing coach. But and they're the first seed in the West.
Exactly.
So I think that helps Steph Curry win it over James Harden.
Best record in the NBA. Let me list off some stats of Stephen Curry. 2014-15. He is playing 32.9 minutes per game. He is averaging 483% from 3. He is averaging 434 from 3, which actually isn't his highest mark. He has been over the 424 mark in all of his seasons in the NBA. He is scoring a ton of points. He is doing MVP-like things, and his team is the best team in the NBA. They've made it clear this year that if you want to win the title, you've got to go through Golden State to do it. They'll have home court in the playoffs, and I think that's where Curry will show his true mettle. He's not only the MVP, he is the new face of the league. We all thought it was going to be Anthony Davis. He was going to come out. This was going to be his year. He was going to become the new...
And he probably could have if he hadn't gotten injured.
The biggest megastar now. He's going to take the throne from LeBron. Well, LeBron did lose his throne, but he lost it to Curry, and you've got to give Curry credit for that.
I think Steph Curry is... I agree with you. I think he's the not necessarily the best all-around player in the league. I think he's probably right there, 1, 2,
he's close
3... with LeBron James and maybe Anthony Davis.
Davis is right now the best all-around player in the league because he can do just about everything. But Curry
hit the three-pointer every once in a while.
Every once in a while, as Oklahoma City Thunder fans do quite know, you fear. We're all talking about fear the breed. How about fear the brow? Fear the brow. You think he'll be at the Kentucky game?
Probably. I think everyone will, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody famous enough.
Andrew Rogers, Tony Romo, that's going to decide the game. Whichever team Tony Romo shows up wearing gear for, that's who wins. Mark my words on that. Wait, no, sorry, I'm bad.
That's who loses.
Who loses? Because that's how Tony Romo rolls. Yeah, it's Curry, no question from me. He's been the MVP all year. The Warriors are the best team, and I have them as title winners. I think they are going to win the title this year, and that's going to be a story we all know about because that's a team. The Warriors have been so putrid for so long since the 90s. This is their first good season, and fans in the Bay Area, they really do owe it. They are deserved this season like this. We move now to baseball. Opening night is Sunday, and the Cubs are already making headlines for things not so good. Kris Bryant, 10 home runs, and for that, his reward is a trip to Des Moines, Iowa, to play for the Iowa Cubs.
23-year-old Kris Bryant, he was I believe, the number 2 drafted player in the 2013 draft to the Cubs. Best prospect in baseball, hands down, without a doubt. And he played great in spring training. He got called up to spring training, and he hit 9 home runs, 15 RBIs, 425 batting average. And the kid gets called down to AAA just so they can keep hold of him for an extra season in 2021 instead of him hitting free agency a year earlier with the whole arbitration situation in the MLB. I think it needs to be fixed, honestly. These kids are way too good to be sitting in AAA. He's going to tear it up.
To the woe of fantasy players everywhere, which does not include me. I do not have the, stamina for fantasy baseball. He does, and he is playing fantasy baseball. We'll let you know how that goes later in the year. But yeah, what he said. Credit to the Cubs. They did the right thing because this is allowed, and they get an extra year out of Bryant, which sacrifice 10 games for another 162. That works. Is the rule stupid? Yes. Should it be changed? Yes. There are plenty of other rules that should be changed in other leagues. Cough, cough, Des Bryant. It's dumb, but you know what? Bryant's going to tear it up in the majors, I think, and the Cubs, they are a good team. They are a team to fear. This is a new age in Chicago, and you've got to love it for a team that has not won a title in, what's the streak at? 104? 105? Something like that. You got to love a guy like Kris Bryant. And now this brings us to our fail of the week, courtesy of Stephen Curry and courtesy of Chris Paul. Stephen Curry, we found out, is now a twister instructor. Thank you, Chris Paul, and his ankles, which are now someplace in Uranus.
Yeah. The Lance Stevenson.
The meme of Lance Stevenson.
Him down, knocking him down whenever
you gotta love it.
LeBron James' ear. That's a pretty good one.
You gotta love it. So many places this can go. One of the best internet memes in recent history. And this summer, this is a summary of why Stephen Curry should win MVP.
Definitely.
That right there. Phenomenal. Honorable mention goes to Frank Kaminsky's dancing skills, which are better than mine and probably better than yours.
Definitely better than mine.
Frank Kaminsky, you are awesome. I hope the Nuggets draft you. And with that, our show is over. You can follow us on Twitter at CoinTossSports. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Checkmate Fashions, official sponsor of Coin Toss. They are legit. Go make sure you go check them out. And we will see you guys next week on Coin Toss.